What's the gossip?
Gossip in the Grove.
What's the gossip?
Gossip in the Grove.
Welcome to Gossip in the Grove podcast.
Hello and welcome to Gossip in the Grove. I'm your host, Tracy Cunningham, and today Miss Shauna is sitting in for Miss Scarlett.
Taking your job, Scarlett.
Yeah, Scarlett, so you better get back to work very quickly. But today I'd like to welcome back Shannon Lane with the Military Affairs, Christian County Military Affairs, and his partner, Chris Collins, with Military Affairs, his assistant. So welcome. This is your first time, Chris?
Yes.
Okay. And Shannon's been here before, so we know all about, what Shannon's going to have to say and stuff. So
Well, really, Chris is the star of the show. I'll tell you, when he says he's come on, man, we have stepped it up.
Okay. Well, yeah. Well, so let us know. First of all, I wanted to let you know that Shauna is a military brat.
I am.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Welcome to the club.
Her
Thanks.
her
Yeah.
dad was in the military and
Garrison Sergeant Major.
yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
My dad was a combat engineer for
Okay,
over
cool.
20 years.
Yep, that's what. Yeah, I got here in 1999. I've been here ever since.
Yeah. So she can speak military.
That's awesome. Well, welcome.
So anyways, so tell us what is going on and what do you have planned for Christian County and all the things for the military?
Man, what is not going on, right?
That's
That's the question. Like, every day I get on Facebook and I check on things and I see what's going on, and Chris tells me the numbers of how many people have started following the page. And then I see the posts from different groups across the community about how nothing's going on, and my head just
Doesn't that
shakes.
just
and
that
I'm
kill
like,
you?
what
Always
world
wild.
do you
You
live
live
in?
in.
Right? Like,
Exactly.
oh my gosh, there's so
There's
many
so much
things
going
that's going on in the community, whether it's here out the lakes, up in Hopkinsville, there's, how do you get to them all?
Right.
Especially being a regional organization, how do
Right.
you get to them all?
Because not only are you Christian County, the Oak Grove, Hopkinsville, but you're also Madisonville,
Yes,
Trigg.
absolutely.
So tell and are you Todd
And
as well?
yep.
So
Elkton,
in Elkton, so you guys are running thin.
We are
really.
all
I
over.
mean, you guys have got to be
And
everywhere.
then our principal duty really being on Fort Campbell to make
Yes,
sure the soldiers
yes.
know that they have a welcoming community
Right.
outside the gates. That's really where we
That's
spend
what's
our
important.
majority of our time.
Yeah, that's what's important.
And we probably do 10 events on Fort Campbell to every one we do in the community.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
You You know, know, so it really is a partnership.
Yeah.
This regional approach that we've taken, we really had to lean on partners to come out. And I will tell you, this year we're seeing a lot of that, and we're so thankful for all our community partners.
Mm-hmm.
And let's face it, I mean, these have been going on already.
Yeah.
Yeah. We love coming down, promoting the Butterfly Festival, which is coming up
Which
soon.
is the 5th. Yeah.
Right,
of
like we
September.
gotta
Yeah,
get,
yeah.
so getting that information out to the families and soldiers of Fort Campbell. That's those partnerships, is to say there's already events going on that they're welcome to. That's
Yeah.
really what it's about. Us hosting events in the community, it's just another way to get them out into the community, but it's really to highlight what the community's already doing.
Right. And how much the community supports Fort Campbell and the soldiers. A lot of people, that's what we're all about. That's what
Absolutely.
Oak Grove Tourism, Valor Hall, all of us, Oak Grove period, is all about the soldiers.
It
Because,
is.
like we talked about before, let's face it, if Fort Campbell wasn't here, Oak Grove wouldn't be here.
Backbone of the
So
economy
yeah,
of there,
that's
yeah.
exactly.
Exactly.
So
and
and I know that you have brought Chris on, and Chris has done amazing things
Absolutely.
as well.
having that second pair of hands, I can tell you, did nothing
yes.
but propel what
Yes.
the Mac
You
is
guys
doing.
make a good team, I have to
So.
say.
Yep.
A very good team.
Well, I tell you, just from my point of view, like Shannon, as I've talked about it a few times. When it comes down to it, the MAC is ran just like we're both service members. We both retired. He was always on the officer side. I was on the enlisted side. So we run it just like we would if we were still active duty.
Right.
So now that we're retired, it's great because he has his roles,
Mm-hmm.
right? Just like I was telling you earlier, he has his roles. He has the bread and butter, the face of the Mac, and I'm over here in the back doing
You're behind the
NCO
scenes?
duties, just trying to take care of all the administrative stuff so that way he can continue propelling us all the way out.
Yeah.
So it's great.
But sometimes you got to push him to be in the front in the line.
Oh, absolutely, and he does.
Yeah.
He's definitely been pushed outside his comfort zone on several occasions. I think he was just interning with me, and I'm like, by the way, take your kids. You're going up to the governor's office, and he's going to sit there, and you're going to talk about military children and have your daughter speak in front of the entire state. And she nailed it.
I bet.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
And how old was she?
At the time, she was
At the time, she was 16.
15,
Okay.
16,
Wow.
somewhere right there. Yeah.
That's awesome.
So, Shauna, did you ever get to go and meet with and talk about military to those people?
No, I never. Yeah, no, I didn't. I wish my military is very. I feel like different than a lot of people. I was stationed in Clarksville since 1999. Like we didn't go to a lot of places, and when my dad did, it was just him, and we stayed back. So I didn't get to go do all the cool stuff.
Yeah, we had the opposite experience. So every 2 years, like clockwork, we moved. And my dad was itching for that assignment to go somewhere else to do something new.
My dad mostly, he did overseas stuff, so of course we would stay back. I was always jealous of the kids who, I'm like, you get to see so many places. I've just been here. But on the flip side, they're like, no, I'm jealous of you. Because you got to set down
100%.
roots and establish. And I'm like, okay.
And that was a
thanks
big
for
part
the
of
perspective.
that was a big part of my decision to retire when I did too, because I only did 3 years of high school. I did college while I was in high school, and I graduated a year early. So I did 3 years of high school.
Look at you.
But I went to 4 different high schools in that 3 years.
Yeah.
And that's a challenge, especially for those teenage years when you're trying to develop friendships, you're trying to build bonds that are going to last the rest of your life.
And all sorts of different things. Yeah.
That's what I was even explaining to our intern at the Christian County Chamber today about, the differences growing up. Like I didn't do a lot of school. I didn't attend any of the fun things. I didn't do any of the fun things. Most of the time, by the time I knew about them, they were
structured,
gone.
weren't you? You were really
So,
structured. In
they're
school.
talking about bedazzling up their jeans and stuff and having senior day or senior jeans and this and that. I'm like, what? I don't know any of that stuff.
Yeah, no, I did get lucky. I got here in the 3rd grade and
Yeah, you did get really, really lucky.
Yep.
Yeah.
spent a couple summers here and there, but for the most part, yeah.
But let me just tell you, we have something big coming up too, though. We always got something big.
Always.
But something big for this community that we just haven't had before. We have an America 250 party coming up. And
oh, wow.
while
Let's talk about that.
Fort
What?
Campbell was the only active duty installation that actually had that.
I know it.
And then we got a second one. Americans for Prosperity came out and said, Shannon, we got additional funding to do one in the community for our active duty, for our veterans, for their families. So we got that coming up too.
Okay, well, tell us about it.
September 19th out of Casey Jones,
Okay.
So we have
nice.
a flyer out on a Facebook page.
Okay.
It is an RSVP only event. So you
Okay.
have to go on, you have to scan the QR code, click the registration link. But if you're a veteran, an active duty member, a reservist, any DOD ID card holder or VA card holder and their families, get on there. Register for the event. It's going to be a great time. We're going to feed you while you're out there. Americans for Prosperity is going to get you a couple rounds on them. We're going to have drinks and everything out there. Live entertainment. Kentucky.
It's beautiful out there, too.
Kentucky Dom's going to be performing. And I'll tell you, if you haven't heard him perform, definitely get on. Look him up. He's amazing.
What is he? What is it?
Kentucky Dom. So take a look at it.
Lee, have you ever heard of Kentucky Dom?
So take a look at it. It's pretty cool. He's been doing a lot of big events. And I hate to do political because that's the ones that I can name out, but he's been doing a lot of big political events too, as far as getting out there and performing.
Yeah.
And been a big hit.
Yeah.
So
now, if you send me the flyer,
absolutely,
we will put it on our newsletter.
Yeah.
And we will send it out.
Absolutely.
Consider it done.
Okay.
I'll take care of it.
Take care of
the
that.
guy that takes
Take
care of
that,
those things
Chris.
might be sitting in the room,
Yeah.
and he could probably speak a little bit more. Why don't you tell him about the timeline of the day? Do you have that
I
committed
do
to
not
memory
have
yet?
that. Not
I'll
yet.
tell you, it's going to
The
be an
timeline
all-day
is-
event.
Yes.
I mean, obviously, we're going to be starting off in the morning. We're going to be out there all day working and
Wow.
things.
So is there music? What else is there? I mean, is there anything else besides the music that they're going to do? I mean,
There'll be
besides the
specific
drinking or whatever?
vendors out there. We
Yeah.
have invited military spouses that are doing those little like at-home jobs, because some of them they just can't afford a daycare, or the daycare availability still is. We talked about that last time.
We did talk about that.
Daycare is a challenge.
It is.
These military spouses have found ways to try to make it supplemental income for their households. If they have that, if they're making bracelets, they're doing jewelry, they're doing at-home candle making, this and that. We encourage
a lady
them.
who makes pickles.
Pickles.
There's a pickle lady.
We want her there.
We
want her there, especially if she does spicy dill pickles. We want her there.
So many flavors of pickles.
But there's a service fee.
There's a dad tax that gets put on
The
there.
dad tax is real.
A Mac tax.
But we're not going to charge those spouses to come out there and have and showcase their stuff. So if they want to come out and they want to set up a table, all they got to do is reach out to Chris or I.
That's awesome.
Shawnee,
Reach out to Chris or
Do
I.
we have the pickle people?
No, we don't. I've just seen them like on Facebook and in the Facebook groups. That she lives on post, and she literally has like 20 different flavors.
Pickle lady, we need you.
We
need you.
I wish I could think of her name exactly, but it is something silly like that. And
Jalapeno pickles.
people
Come
are
on.
crazy for her pickles.
Good.
And
So
if you,
we got to reach out and see if we
bring the
can.
jar back to her, you get a discount on your next thing of pickles. It's a whole thing.
Does it count if it's the same day, like 10 minutes later? Like, I'm curious.
A little punch
Asking for a
card.
friend.
I'll need to find it.
Yeah.
Let you know.
Man, now I'm hungry. I haven't eaten lunch yet. I go from one meeting to the next. I'm sure Chris told you guys that before the show. Like,
Yeah, you were at a meeting. and-
advocating. I do a
Yeah.
ton of that. We got some big things coming up that aren't even on the calendar that Chris is mortified waiting for the rest of the answers for, because he's been pinging me all day with these notes that I don't understand yet, but they're notes to make sure I don't forget to talk to him about it. And he's like, I need details now because I want to get on it. But chili cook-off.
He's the doer, huh?
Ooh, a chili cook-off.
Oh, our
Yeah,
chili cook-off is
that's
the biggest in
yearly.
the
Yeah.
region.
Oh, I think, was that the one in
It's
Hopkinsville?
October.
Yep,
It's in
October
October
24th.
because it goes right with our haunted
I was
house.
talking about that the other day, and I was like, I went to this really awesome chili cook-off one time in Hopkinsville, and I'm talking about it, and they were like, yeah,
That's Mac.
that's Mac. And I was like, oh my gosh, I loved it.
Absolutely.
It was great.
I think it might be time for Chris and I to discuss next year what we'll do is we're going to try to get the communities to have a little bit more pride in that too, because it's always been something. Maybe we can push for a competition between the cities to see who gets to host it the following year. Maybe we'll generate some kind of new competition to where the best city gets to be the one to host it the next year.
Everybody likes the
Hey,
competition.
you already know who the best city is. That's Oak Grove.
Well, your chili's got. I'll tell you. I will tell you. That Hopkinsville Fire Department, when it comes to a chili cook-off, man, them dudes cream everybody.
But you haven't had our Oak Grove Fire Department.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Or they haven't produced anything memorable yet.
Oh. Snap.
We got to get them engaged. Come on. That's calling them out. That is calling them out. Come out.
Did you hear that, Oak Grove Fire Department? He just...
Well, I'm just saying, the Oak Grove Police Department better have a good chili. They may have a retired police captain that should be police chief that should be helping lead the team.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You can't even. He's loving so much retirement. He doesn't even want to do anything anymore. I mean, he is like, babe, if I could have done this, I could have done this 10 years ago. I'm just having so much fun. I'm living my best life. I said, yeah, but you don't want to come with me anymore.
I'm glad
I have to whine now.
I'm glad he's got a good retirement story. Mine sent me back to work. Tracy, you're too nice on that man.
Yeah, I think he's done. He's done.
You've got to strategically
Retired
suggest a
military,
chili
retired
hobby.
police chief. He's done.
Well, you might be the retired chief, Mr. Cunningham, but we miss you. We need to see you a little more in the community. Get your butt back out here some.
Start dropping little chili hints. Get him, make it his idea that he
Right.
wants to start making chili.
No, he'll just get Gigi to make it for him.
Oh, look.
Yeah.
I've never had Gigi's chili, but
Yeah.
I already
Gigi makes some good
would say
chili.
It was
Yeah.
great. I believe it.
Yeah. So what else is going on?
We have a lot of events coming up. We got
Okay.
the DAV fundraiser. We got a spaghetti dinner coming up August 28th.
Okay, and that
$10
is
a
going to
plate.
benefit.
The
The
disabled
DAV.
American
Okay,
veterans.
good. Okay.
The
And where is that going to be at?
It's at in Hopkinsville on North Drive or North Main
Street. North Main.
North
And
Main.
here's the thing, is that disabled American veterans, we only have one office in this whole region.
I know.
And they're servicing all of our veterans.
Yeah.
Oak Grove, Hopkinsville, Cerulean, all the little communities that nobody really ever talks about that are inside our own county, but then all the surrounding counties as well. I think there's like 8.
I think it's 9.
9 counties that he's servicing. Now, it's all volunteer. If you're a veteran, you're struggling to get around, you have a disability that's connected to your service, like, go talk to these guys. They're there Tuesdays and Thursdays from 9 to 12, and it's volunteer basis only, and they're helping you navigate the VA and get your claims in, whether that's for a disability rating or just to get your disability taken care of and getting the medical, because that's really what it's about, is make sure you're medically taken care of.
Right.
You know, there's other resources as well, but they don't do a lot of big fundraisers. They don't. So everything has been donation based. As people passed away, they left stuff. Well, there hasn't been a lot of those donations. So we're stepping in. We're kind of helping them generate a little funding. It's just a benefit dinner. It's an easy one. Knights of Columbus, big shout out to them. A lot of them are going to participate as far as cooking and helping us. So thank you for their partnership.
Yeah.
But please, I will not personally be in town. I'm going down. If you hadn't heard, my son's graduating his advanced training for the Air Force the same day. So I'm going to be out of town.
Nice.
But I will tell you that get in there, help support it. It's $10 a plate. They try just pricing it. All the food is being donated by people like me, just other community members, you know, that are donating their time to cook the spaghetti sauce and cook the spaghetti noodles, and go out there. They're donating it there, and then it's just $10 a plate to just help benefit, keep the lights on there, helping them to continue supporting the disabled veterans in our community.
Now, is that new that you guys are doing?
It is. It's something new.
I don't remember last year that you did.
We're really looking at the military affairs as a holistic approach to the community, as far as making sure that this community is welcoming. Veterans, when soldiers are retiring, they become veterans. They're not soldiers. We're always soldiers. Don't take that from us, right? But the truth is we go into a different class of soldiers, right? Become veterans. So when we're trying to advocate for them to stay here in the local community, to become our next police chief, to become our next fire chief, or working as our city council members, or this or that, what we're really saying is we want them to stay here as veterans, right? So we need to make sure our veteran population is taken care of. This is a way that we're doing that. We're trying to help partner in these veteran organizations too, to make sure that their mission's being told, that people know that resource is there locally for them, you know?
Yeah.
And that's really what this is about.
So from last year events, how much more this year you have more than last year?
It's
because I know that
multiplying.
you guys had gotten
It's every bit of
so.
And that's
I
where
was
we're
gonna
coming
say,
back.
I thought it was triple because you guys
it
are
has.
like,
every bit of triple.
yeah,
And it
yeah.
has.
Yeah.
It goes down like I have to stay on the calendar anymore, and it's like we don't have anything going on this day. Okay, well, hey, guess what? You know, something's going on in Madisonville. Now I feel that. You know, once we added, Hopkins County, Todd County, Trigg County, to where we can kind of capture some of their events for us to be able to go and support, and anytime we can set up a booth or anything like that to get our message across. I mean, it's nonstop. I mean, we literally split ops all the time. We have a couple 9/11 ceremonies coming up. One at the VFW. We have one at Oak Grove Community Center.
Yeah, I knew that.
Luckily, it's on 2 different days.
Yeah.
You know, we got.
And I think that we
remember
had to make it
ceremony?
because there was so many of them that we were like, God,
Yep.
we got to do. You
So
know.
the September 11th, we got one at the VFW at Post 1913 in Hopkinsville, and then on the 12th, we've got it at the Oak Grove Community Center, and we're really excited about it.
And free hot dogs and hamburgers at the VFW afterwards. So it's
Okay.
service is at 11, but then from 11 to 3, stick around. Regardless if it's open. The clubhouse will be open for everybody to come in, have a hamburger and hot dog that shows up to the event. And if you are a veteran and have been deployed to a combat zone or have been to Korea or some of these other qualifying campaigns, please stay. Talk about a membership. Some of the things that VFW offers that nobody talks about is scholarship funds.
Yes.
You know, while it's not a lot, every little bit when you go, trust me,
Every little
I got
bit
I got 4 people in my household going to college right now. And I will tell you that every little bit helps.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'm actually really honored this year. The VFW asked both my wife and I to be involved in some of the scholarship programs. So from the district, I'm going to be involved at the district level for the VFW campaigns as far as for the Patriot Pen, the scholarship.
Yeah.
And my wife will be at the local chapter helping out.
Nice.
Kind of judging and kind of going through to make sure the criteria is met. So please know that that's there. That's a resource. If you live on Fort Campbell, it is Fort Campbell, Kentucky. So you
Yes.
do qualify. Your
Yes.
students that are going to the Fort Campbell High School do
Fort-
qualify
yeah.
to put
Yeah.
in to do their
That's
paper
good to
and
know.
you know
That's good to know.
patriotic fin and
Yeah.
everything else. We love to hear from them. We love them to be part of it, to come out and hopefully read their essays out loud to us. We'd love to have it.
Nice.
But that's another piece. And speaking of veterans, I'm going to tell you this goes back to the administrative support that Chris is doing, right? So when he came
You're the
in,
man, Chris. You're
when
the
he
man.
came in, I threw a lot at him and I said, Chris, look, here's the truth. I have this big idea. Like I swear my nickname the first 48 hours to him was freaking Good Idea Fairy, right?
Absolutely.
Because I had so many big ideas that I just
Idea
could not. I could not for the last 3 years bring to light because there just wasn't enough time for one person to do it all.
Yeah.
So when I told Chris, like, I need new coins redesigned for this new thing, I need this done, I need jerseys made, I need volunteer shirts done, I would like to do this, I would like to do that. Chris started pounding away at some of these different ideas I had. He came out and he made all these different logos. He said, what do you think about this one? No. I swear to God, I probably shot down 300 different logos. And he shot down the same amount. Like we went back forth. We used AI. We drew our own. We did every trick under the book to figure out how we wanted the new coin design and logos to look and this and that. And out of that, Chris goes, I really like this one. I said, I love it. I do. But it's just too much for a coin. It's gonna the detail and everything's gonna get lost. He goes, well, I'm keeping this because this thing is so cool. I'm gonna find a way to use it. And he comes to me, and one of the ideas that I came to him, I said, you know, a big part of what we're doing is holistic approach to the community, is highlighting these veteran services and highlighting the veterans that are being successful. And Chris goes, well, why don't we use that thing I came out with? He goes, we can make a veteran recognition sticker for them to put on their door that says we recognize this business as a veteran-owned business where we go in, we talk to them. So that's been taking up some time. You know, like all these little ideas that have come into light just because he came on the team.
Yeah, nice.
Just because he came to the team.
See, and now he's saying you can't go nowhere. Even when Buc-ee's comes, you cannot go jump ship and go work for Buc-ee's, okay?
You're looking at the next director of military affairs right to my left. When I go back, I keep telling him I'm ready to go to retirement. You can come back and you can go, I will be your best volunteer in the world. So I will tell you
I still got a lot to learn.
Well, you're doing a great job. You both are. I mean, it's amazing how much you just, since being the director, Shannon, how much you have just grew it. I mean, you have just been amazing, and everybody sees it. Everybody knows it.
Well, we can only do it because you guys have been so supportive.
Well,
There's no way there was no way that one person could do everything that he was doing those 3 years, and then even as much as Chris and I have taken on together this last year.
Yeah.
Chris hasn't even been an employee for, 7 months now?
Yeah.
That's
A
it.
full-time employee,
Yes.
right? Because you
Well,
were
no,
always
part-time.
No.
They started off part-time,
Oh.
but he refused to leave my side for several months. There was so much going on, even at part-time, and then we brought him up full-time
Yeah.
after we
Well,
were
I mean,
able
there
to
was
prove
it was so much to learn, so much to
Yeah.
Obviously, he'd been doing it for years before I even come on board, and I was still active duty. I was interning.
I remember that.
Right?
Yeah.
So I
'Cause it was
came
at
in
the-
as my CSP.
Yeah.
I did my internship, and then luckily I was hired on as part-time. Well, I mean, that's great and all, but there's so much to do. There was no way I could get it all done in 5 hours a day.
Right.
It just wasn't going to happen.
Right.
So we stayed, and I mean, I was like, if we're going to expand this thing, I've got to be here. We can't just say, oh, well, I'm clocking out today. No, we can do that because we're retired, because we want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not because we have to.
Right.
And that's
Because you have the passion. You both have passion. I mean, without the passion, and correct me, Shauna, if without passion, your work would be, I mean, it's like, that's why I said, my girls have passion. Like, she's got passion, doing her job. So she's so good at it. Yeah. And like you guys got passion. That's why I think you guys are so good at it. Now, if you ever lose that passion, then we have to talk.
No,
we
absolutely.
have a problem.
I don't think we're ever going to lose that passion. I'll tell you, both of us absolutely love our country. You know, we served it for all those years.
Yeah.
You know, I got asked on Friday. I looked at the calendar. I said, there's one ceremony going on, Chris, and we're starting school on Wednesday, and I don't take time off much. I said, I think I'm going to take Friday. I told my son I just want to spend one day with him and just go fishing, and he found out he had Friday off. So I took the day and we went fishing. I got a message while I was on the lake from another coworker from the chamber that just said, hey, what did you want to be? Back to school thing. We're kind of just doing this weird thing, right? Like kind of the year you graduated and what you wanted to be when you grew up, or what do you want to be when you grow up was how it was worded.
Yeah.
And I thought about it. And I was like, there's only one thing I ever wanted to be growing up, and that was a soldier. Even today, it's like, man, that's still the pride of my background, is the fact that I got to serve. And at times, when you're serving, you're so beat down, the deployments weigh on you, the time away from family weighs on you. Even for somebody that's all they ever wanted to be, you take it for granted sometimes. You just can't help it because you're just so tired. But you get those refresh moments where you get an opportunity to go do something neat, go somewhere cool. I got to go to South America. I got to go all over the Middle East. I got to go over Asia and Europe and all those other things. And every time I went somewhere new, it was refreshing, So getting out of that comfort zone, going to a new school, learning a new skill, coming back and being a valued team member was always important. But there was always a tax on the family and the home life too, right?
Yeah.
So, but even today, it's like that's all I ever wanted to be. I ever wanted to be a soldier, And then it was like, well, what else did I thought about what else did I want to be?
That was
Well, I wanted to also fly. I wanted to be a pilot. The Army gave me those skills, right? I was on the unmanned aviation side for many, many years, but when I became an officer, I went to more of the management side, and doing that, I didn't get to fly as much.
That's what you missed.
So, but the Army came out of the program to help us go ahead and translate our skills over into the civilian world for me to get my civilian license. And of course, Kit, she jumped up when I told her I was going to go ahead and retire, let the kids stay stable and this and that. And she bought me my retirement gift, which was a plane.
Which was a plane.
Right. So, that was even better. But so I got everything that I ever wanted, and then I got it all from the military. And
Kit
then
was military too.
she was. She served 13 years as well. As a Black Hawk crew chief and flight operations.
Yeah.
So
Look, I'm over here rethinking my whole childhood because I just wanted to be a dolphin trainer. So he's like living his dream over here. So wonderful and
That sounds so much
I'm
much
like,
fun.
oh, I should have aimed higher.
you know that the military and the CIA tried to train dolphins to.
Look, maybe okay. Thank you.
I think that was during the Cold War, if I remember right. There was a documentary on this thing.
Oh, thank you for
Yeah, so like my brother-in-law, he works with rescued manatees down in Florida, down at SeaWorld. I'm so jealous.
Okay.
Man.
Make me feel
Like
better.
some people get the coolest jobs,
Some
and I'm
people
over
get
here
the coolest
breaking
jobs.
my knuckles, trying to break loose a tire. And I did that for 20 years, and it's like, that's not cool.
As the mechanic of the military. Yeah, that's what my brother was. He was a mechanic in the military.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Did a lot of knuckle dragging.
Yes, we did. So I don't know if you knew this, but Chris and I actually worked together several years ago when I was doing all these trips to Africa and South America and in the Middle East. Chris was working in the motor pool, running a lot of the maintenance programs. So I heavily relied on him as a movement officer to get things going, to make sure that the vehicles were up and going, to get vehicles from one base to another, to put on aircraft, to make sure that our unit that we were supporting at the time was successful in 3 different AORs in 3 different continents.
And you never knew? I mean,
Oh no, we knew
you
each
did?
other.
Oh, okay.
That's how
I was like, oh,
we
okay.
we both left that unit.
Yeah.
We both went to Korea. I stood up a unit in Korea. He came in behind me, and then I came here, and then he came in behind me here. It just so happened to line
So
up.
you guys been friends for years.
So it was just one of those things that when he got here and I was retiring and I was working in the G3, but I was getting out. So they sent me down to the cab. He was up in the G4. Come to find out, I ran into him at a ceremony. He's like, well, what's your plan next? And I just stepped into this role, and it's like, okay, well, we got to talk in the future. And when that time came, he's like, okay, look, I don't know what I want to do when I grow up now, right? Like
That was exactly what I said to him. I don't know what I want to do when I grow up.
what I want to do.
But I know I just need to put myself out there, right? Because that's how I spun the internship with me. Is like we get to work with so many great community partners, and they want to hire veterans. They want to hire their spouses. They have good luck with them. And it's like, Chris, why don't you just come and I'll get you exposed to the community, and you can figure out where you fit in from there. And it's just so happened they fit in just too perfect for us to let go.
Yeah, he's good. He's done a great job for you. So
Absolutely.
in Christian County. So
But the partnerships too, we
I
got to
know.
lean on those. You know, while we've ramped up what we're doing threefold,
yeah,
it's not by ourselves. Our partners are stepping up. You know, our judge executive, let's point out him. I just left his office because we're
Jerry,
putting on a dove hunt for the soldiers of Fort Campbell, where every command group gets to be representative with their own team. Now, this is not open
Nice.
to the public. Don't go running around looking for a registration, but I will talk about it.
yeah,
Because it's just amazing. I challenged him in a room full of other leaders in the community, like, guys, I can do as much groundwork. I can go down to Fort Campbell every day. I can associate with everybody, but it's just one person. Think about how many times you've lived in the community. Have you been in every neighborhood in Oak Grove?
almost.
Almost.
Not.
What
not
stops
all.
you from going to the other neighborhoods? We're just spitballing here. This is not
Yeah,
a
what
bad
stops
thing.
me is work.
Well,
I mean,
and what's the other
time,
obvious
too.
thing too? Maybe there's no one you know in that community,
Well,
right?
no,
That part of the
there's-
community.
right. I mean, yeah,
Right? Like they just don't
True.
have a reason to go into
Right.
that neighborhood.
True.
It's not that you ignore that neighborhood. It's just that
Right.
why go?
Yeah. Weird to
So when
just
Chris
drive to the block.
retired, you know, he had a very specific route home. He had one or two routes
Facts.
home that he took, and every day he drove through Oak Grove, through Hopkinsville, and went home. He lives on the north side of Hopkinsville, out in the country, and every morning at 5:00 in the morning, he reversed things and he did the same thing. And then
Every
5:30,
day.
6:00 at night, the next day, he'd come home, same thing. Everything, when we come in and out of the community, people take for granted the fact that the soldiers are here. They don't think about the fact that we don't actually get to see a lot of the community during operating hours. We're on base. We might live in
That's
the
true.
community, but it's,
Yeah.
you know, by the time we get out, a lot of things are closed. Sundays, a lot of things are closed.
Yeah.
So unless somebody's very intentional about getting us into the community, we miss so much. Not because we want to miss so much, just by default of our hours that we're keeping. And we're busy with our training schedules and everything else. So until someone says, hey, come over to my house. Well, where do you live? Oh, I live in this neighborhood. Oh, I don't know where that's at. Majority of the neighborhoods, the soldiers that live off base don't even know. They might be right next to a neighborhood or right next to a resource in the community that they are living in and don't even know about it. Then you've got the soldiers that live on Fort Campbell that may never leave Fort Campbell
Right.
unless they're personally invited. You have to take a personal.
Right. Yeah.
Judge Gillum took that to heart, and he says, I'm going to give him a reason to come out. You know, he's been a great partner to the MAC for years, and he last year he started his first annual dove hunt. This is the second annual dove hunt. He invited a small group of soldiers out. This year he's doubled it. So trying to get those resources together, have good partnership there. Many partners are coming out to be part of that. But 5 representatives from every command group on Fort Campbell.
That's
2
nice.
includes our Air Force counterparts and
Yeah.
everything else.
Yep.
That's good.
So they're going to be able to get a private hunting experience, socialize with certain key individuals to kind of get them into the community, to build relationships so they have an excuse to come
And it's
back
invitation by only, correct?
It is.
Yes.
Unfortunately, not everything that
hey,
we do.
yeah.
Some resources are limited.
Right.
I can't put 500 soldiers on a 50-acre plot and
Right.
expect
It's fun to
everything to go
watch.
great. Like, we got to kind of keep things at a safe, right? But
Yeah.
in some of the larger venues,
Yeah.
you know, that when you guys do your beer, bourbon, and wine
Mm-hmm.
festival, you know, that can hold tons of people. And just promoting that,
Yeah.
being part of that, those are the partnerships
Yeah.
that really, when other organizations step up to say, hey, Shannon, come sit down with us, come up with ideas of how we can kind of get this information into, where the MAC fits in, how we can volunteer with your organization and host an event. That's really where we can do more,
Yeah.
right? Is by the community partners coming out and being a force multiplier, where we can come in and just kind of help tailor things and kind of, that's a great idea. I love where you're going with that. The soldiers kind of like that idea, but if you could do this and just help tweak your ideas to be something that
Yeah.
really captivates them to get out here and do it, that's really where we make the bread and butter, is when a community gets involved. I said that a lot last time. Get involved, get involved.
Get involved. He did. He did say that.
I like
So-
the force
That-
multiplier.
Yeah.
Yes. So
Yeah. So, like I said, I mean, you guys have went above and beyond. You really have. And I mean, you support Oak Grove too. You support every community that you can. With 2 people, you guys do a good job of supporting every single community. So I want to thank you on that.
Well, even then, like the mayor of Bowling Green came down here. We supported them out of an emergency situation. We were able to assist them, and he invited us up to Bowling Green last week.
Oh,
and,
okay.
got to tour the new school that they just built up there. Which
Nice.
is pretty impressive.
It is.
If I would say so. Yeah, it's pretty impressive. But we got invited. Our extension is reaching farther than we can reach right now.
Yeah,
like,
I bet.
Like Caldwell County's reaching out, wanting to be a part of the MAC and stuff. So it's.
Did you ever think that would happen a couple of years ago?
When I came in, I will tell you that my goal immediately was that we weren't doing things right. Like, it was just too centered focus, and it wasn't about the region, and it wasn't about making sure the soldiers had a good welcoming community. It was, but it was at a very small scale, and it was like, guys, we need to open our eyes. We're looking down a straw when we should be looking at the open fields ahead of us and all the opportunities. Mm-hmm. Did I expect it to take off the way how as fast as it did? No. And that's really kind of, so the curiosity is, how far do we go? Well, I don't know. I know that eventually my site is Bowling Green West, right? Bowling Green West. Like, we're going to focus. We have the Knoxville Alliance, and they partner with us, and we share lessons learned, and we advocate together up at the state capitol for things. So they can take care of that region. Let them take care of that region. Let's focus on the region that surrounds the Fort Campbell community. We have a lot of reserve, National Guard. And in case people forgot, we have Coast Guard here too, and we have the largest inland Coast Guard of any other state that doesn't border saltwater.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
We have the
no
largest
idea.
population of Coast Guard.
I don't think I ever
For inland states.
Yeah, I didn't put 2 and 2 together on that.
That's what I said. Like,
yeah.
our service members, we have Air Force and Army that serve on Fort Campbell every single day, but our service members aren't just at there. We have Marines that come here to Fort Campbell to train. We have Marine Reserve units. We have, all the reserves and National Guard for Kentucky are an important piece of that too. And making sure the legislation is supportive of them, so that way when they get activated, their families are taken care of and not forgotten too.
Right.
That's an important piece of it. So if we could just focus our efforts, Bowling Green West, in the near future, and again, what that near future is, I don't know. I will say that when we had the conversations with the mayor of Bowling Green, I was very blunt with him. I said, look, we're happy to help partner. If you're going to host an event and you want our input, we're happy to come tell you. But as far as the MAC being the first point of contact to do an event in Bowling Green, as of today, the answer has to be a no, because we have to solidify. Every time we grow, we got to make sure that our partners know, one, the original partners know, that are still Eagle Ambassadors supporting the program. We're here for them. We're not leaving them. We're building a program that's bigger and better for everybody, that's going to support everybody. And the new ones that come in, that they're being met with the same type of value, that they feel valued, they understand, and they can come to us and be a resource as well. So until we can solidify the 4 counties around, that's our goal this year. Maybe the next year, if we're successful at that, then we grow again a little bit. But that growth has to be moderated to be fruitful.
Now, does Clarksville have the military
have that
affairs?
question
Yeah.
too, yeah.
Well, because we know that Phil retired.
Yeah, Phil Harpel did retire, and he's been a champion of Fort Campbell, with or without the title. I'll tell you, there's
Right.
many people that have championed Fort Campbell and championed what it is to just be good community partners, and the Harpel brothers in general have been a cornerstone of that. You can't take anything from them at all. They do have a military affairs director as well. He's another retired veteran. However, their program is a lot different than ours, and really where they get their bread and butter is highlighting what's already existing inside the Clarksville region. So, maybe reaching out to Rennie and getting him and them to come out and be part of one of your podcasts in the future. I could definitely help bridge that gap.
What's his name now?
Rennie Sereno.
Okay.
He's really good. Again, another retired veteran. And Melinda
Humphreys.
is, again, she's
I've met
been
Melinda
one of
before.
our, she's been on several of our trips to DC. I mean, the partnership for the citizens of Fort Campbell, which you know a lot about because you've been on those trips with us.
Yeah.
You know, she's been a big piece of that.
Yeah.
The chambers on both sides have always been a cornerstone of that Citizens for Fort Campbell trip. So going out there and advocating for Fort Campbell.
How did it go this year?
It went great this year. Of course, this year was a little bit different. This year we went out and we did just what we normally did. What we did differently this year with that regional approach again is we took the mayors and the judge executives from the surrounding communities. And you can tell the difference when we walked in this year. It was always well received by the congressmen, by the senators coming in as a group. But when all of a sudden it's mayor, judge executive, you know, previous state representative, that's a judge executive, another mayor, It's like, wait a minute, hold on. It's like the whole state of Kentucky showing up to put pressure on me today. What am I in for, right? Like that, you could tell there was a different vibe, but it worked great, you know. Do I believe that they would have put in any other weight on the issues we brought to them this year? No. I think our representatives have been great at receiving the message we carry forward as far as the support for Campbell needs, the infrastructure improvements. But I would say that the atmosphere was just different. Having that level of leadership in the room.
Yeah.
So, and then of course, what made it different this year was there was a new thing that was identified, which you guys have probably heard about by now, that the aging water and sewer infrastructure around Fort Campbell is about twice the age of anything else in the state of Kentucky. The average life expectancy or average for water waste treatment is something around 36 years. In Fort Campbell's is about 80 something years. So it's old, it's outdated, it's not failed. It's not really in a bad state where you got to worry about somebody getting killed, but it's in a state of concern, right? Like it's in a state like, guys, this is well overdue. A digester's average life expectancy is 20 years, and this is 4 times that.
Yeah.
And why did it get overlooked? Well, just think about how often those leaders transfer in and out of Fort Campbell. It's not really anybody's fault. It's just that there's no consistency there on keeping up on things. And then to put it into a private contract 20 years ago, it never gave them funding for improvements to maintain as is. Well, 20 years ago, it was still 3 times the life expectancy, so it was already in a state of concern. And they just been Band-Aiding it the whole time. So we went back to D.C. to request an emergency funding to help get that. And here's the great thing about it. So we turned around and we were able to get Congressman Barr to come out here personally. And he was the very first congressman to come out and say, look, I'm taking it. He's not from this region. He doesn't represent this region. He represents the region up there by Louisville. And he took it upon himself to come all the way down here and says, Shannon, I believe what you're telling me. I believe this is important. And he says, and I think that Fort Campbell and the soldiers there are worth every bit of my attention. And he came down here personally to view that. And he was the first congressman, and he's not even from this region, you know, from both states. He came down, he looked at it, he went back, he advocated for it, he pushed for it, he got on to be supportive of it. Now, when the rubber hit the road, you know, all the congressmen and senators, they all work together. The representatives for regions are the ones that push the bill forward, and he just came on as a supporting role, right? This shows that they're all working together to make sure Fort Campbell's taken care of.
That's good.
So
that's good.
Really excited, you know, but that
was good.
Taking that trip out there to talk about
So
that.
whose idea was it to bring just the mayors? Was it?
It wasn't just the mayors. It was one of those like, hey, how do we solidify again? Going back to making sure these relationships are stronger. You know, we reached out.
No other mayors or anything, or from other different cities and stuff has ever.
No.
So this
was
new.
new,
and I thought that was a good play.
Thank you.
That was a good play.
Thank you. But I was going somewhere with that, and we talk about making big impacts. So there's a couple things that we made huge impacts on this last year that nobody even heard about. So dental offices are closing their doors to spouses and families left and right because the reimbursement rate on dental care from the military healthcare standpoint is so little that they're losing money just to keep their doors open. And so it's not that the providers don't support our military, it's that they're having to shut their doors. So Clarksville provided a lot of those. Most of the dental offices provided that TRICARE Dental or United Concordia, whatever it was that was providing that. Unfortunately, they didn't give a back and forth dialogue between the dentist office and the corporate for insurance reimbursement rates. They didn't do that. So the reimbursement rates came so low. Like if it cost $65 for a family member to come in, and that was like the at cost to get them taken care of, but the bill is normally somewhere around $100 to $120 for dental cleaning. United Concordia was just like, okay, well, here's $35. That's all you're getting. And it's like, yeah, I'm losing $30 for every family member that walks in here. We want to be supportive of our military. We raised a flag. We raised a flag saying this is an issue we're seeing. This is something that's affecting the rest of the communities that no one's talking about.
Yeah,
And in the American defense community, when I took it up to the governor's office and I took it up to the Fort Knox Alliance, again, the partnership there, and said, hey, please ping your area. See if you're seeing the same thing. You're like, we haven't heard anything, but I'll look into it. They got back to me a week later and like, Shannon, you're right. Like nobody said anything, but this is what's going on. Like this is a true thing. So I got some of our partners that own dental practices here in Christian County to write letters. We sent them up saying, hey, you guys really need to help bridge this gap. They sent it to the American defense community. The American defense community pushed it out. Other communities came back and said, yeah, we're seeing the same thing. So we started this nationwide dialogue right here in the Southwest Kentucky region to help maybe combat and fix that so we can stop those doors from shutting and stop those resources from closing off from family members of not just around our community, but the entire nation potentially.
Yeah.
Like that's the impact that we're making.
Yeah.
The other big impact too, we talked about the water waste treatment facility. So we made that trip. We got Congressman Barr to come out here. Well, when we went back, between him, Matt Van Ups, Blackburn, Comer, they all came together and said, yep, we see these. We believe these issues. And they, as a group, they pushed it up. And then they said, look, we need to do more. Because if Fort Campbell's having this issue, who else is having this issue where it's just falling through the cracks? And they pushed it out. And so now they got the study going across the entire nation to look at all these installations to find out where their infrastructure is lacking, especially in the services realm where nobody sees it. Nobody lives at the water waste treatment facility.
No.
You know, nobody goes to the dining, nobody goes there to eat, like the dining halls. Nobody goes to
That's a negative.
Everybody goes to the division headquarters, they go to the PX, they go to the barracks, they want to see the PT fields where they work out every day, the gyms where they work out. They want to see the morale and welfare side of things.
Yeah.
So that's what gets the funding because that's what captures people's attention.
Yeah.
What about the stuff underground? Why is Fort Campbell having 3 to 4 times the amount of water breakage than anybody else? Well, because their infrastructure is 80 years old.
Yeah.
That's why. Why is that? How much of a cost is that we're bearing as taxpayers because it just got overlooked?
Yeah.
To be able to advocate for those things, to make sure that there's good, clean water being delivered to the households there at Fort Campbell, and that training can continue to happen, that reserve units can come in here and continue training successfully. That's important.
I think so. Good job.
So
Look at you. Look at you. You guys.
And then if you haven't heard the whispers yet, I'm going to tell you there's some big news hopefully coming for this
That's
region.
the gossip we're looking for.
That's what we want. That's the gossip. What is
Some
it?
of the other things we're looking to do too, and it's not a huge kept secret. It's when I went down to the Army Aviation Association this year, I was pinged left and right. So the word's getting out there. But we're trying to do some feasibility to see, hey, what Fort Campbell right now, if there's something to happen on the Fort Campbell airfield and they have to go to a backup, it is Nashville.
Mm-hmm.
Think about how long it takes back in the 80s and 90s, you can drive to Nashville so easy.
Not
Can you
anymore.
do it today?
No.
Hell, it takes hours sometimes to get down there.
Yeah.
Now you're talking about congesting it up with slow military-style vehicles, hauling heavy trailers if they had to go use their alternate. And Nashville's airport has grown drastically.
Yeah, it has.
So while they can support the military and they want to be supportive to the military, they also know that they're coming up on, they're bringing in Southwest, they're doing this, they're extending their terminals and everything else. So they're like, look, we're happy to continue being your backup, but if there's another feasible option, like it'd be good for you guys to have another feasible option. And Fort Campbell's looking at the same thing. We don't need a single point of failure, right? So there's discussions going on right now on both sides of the border of where that can go. And we'd love to see that here in Christian County, to be honest with you. We'd love to see it in our region. Maybe bringing in a commercial runway would be something that we can get another 1,000 jobs brought into the area, because we can get somewhere in like Amazon warehouse to start pumping their supply through there to do airlines. Maybe we can get a regional, there's so many possibilities there. And again, this is just in the beginning stages of talk.
This is just gossip.
There you go, your
Rumor
gossip
has
in the
it.
grove, right?
This is gossip.
But this is something that we're really considering. One, it's a great partnership for Fort Campbell.
Yeah.
But two, what kind of economic growth and development is that going to bring for our local region? Huge.
Huge.
Big. Big.
Big.
Big.
Massive.
So
Okay, so Shauna, you've got questions for them?
I mean, how long have you been doing what you are doing? Because I know we discussed a couple months, like 7 months or something. How long have you been doing this MAC thing?
just about 3 years.
Okay.
I'm in my third
I was
year now.
assuming
Like
longer
I
than
said,
that, so
nope,
that's-
just about
that's
3
awesome,
years. I
yeah.
don't know. I just kind of came into it and it just fit.
Yeah, you did.
It just fit. It's,
It was like, boom, he's there.
but I take that, everybody was welcoming. When I came in, I said, guys, I have an idea of what you're doing is not wrong, but there's better ways to go about it. And everybody was very well receptive to
You're
that.
like, please tell us.
It's like, wow, so had a lot of good, strong committee members over the years, a lot of good partners in the community to kind of help groom and mentor me and tell me what they seen went right and wrong, and what things to avoid and what things to kind of lean on, and who's good partners that you can trust. And that made a big difference, just to kind of get my feet underneath me right away to get me moving and
for sure,
working
yeah.
quicker.
Yeah.
Right?
I was on the military advisory board before. Well, it was before I left. Who was before you?
Christy Murphy.
Christy. But before Christy, that's where I left.
Mhm.
So, because I
It
just
was
didn't
right
have
around the
been in the
time.
game for
It was
I
right
just-
around the
I-
time that I was coming on, because
Yeah.
me and her had a conversation.
we
Because I
did.
said, because
Yeah.
I noticed that on my roster she was on the board and she didn't make the first two meetings. And I come down, and I just said, look, I need good active community members that are going to be good partners. And she says, Shannon, she says, I've been there. I'm going to be there to support you. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. But it's time for somebody else. And I said, okay, well, I'm going to go to the mayor and ask for an appointed person from Oak Grove. It's important to keep that relationship up. That Oak Grove needs representation on this, just like the other communities now as we expand. They need representation because it.
And that's when Richard
And that's
Baker
when I
now,
asked
right?
Richard.
Yeah. Yeah.
Richard Baker got involved
Yeah.
and became a board member.
Yeah.
So and he shows up and he makes sure he's
Yeah.
there, and he doesn't just show up to the board meetings. He's there when we do the 9th to fair to let the first responders and military in. He mans one of the gates to make sure he's checking IDs and helping pay to get them in. Like
Yeah.
Yep.
these are the partnerships we're looking for the ones to show up and do
Yeah.
to
And
be the
Oh,
answer.
absolutely.
There was just I was in so much. My hands, I was just in so much. I was like,
Well,
Didn't
you
have
got
any
the
idea what
tourism
happened.
and you got your
and I
Fowler Hall.
I felt really bad. I said, I just can't commit. I mean, I'm gonna
And,
be honest.
and
I-
it's
I
honest
just couldn't-
conversation,
I
and that's
couldn't commit.
okay. We
Yeah.
all get
Yeah.
busy in
I'll
life.
say that's just
Yeah.
as helpful. Being able
Yeah.
to know when
Yeah.
hey, somebody needs to step up because I can't do it is a very valuable.
But this is what
mindset,
I will
so.
say,
Yeah.
this is what I will say though. Even though she stepped back, she did not step away from being an Eagle ambassador. That's how this
Yep.
program is funded.
Yep.
As we expand, the only reason we were able to bring Chris on is because more people signed up to be an Eagle ambassador. More people understood the importance of our program. They can see the success now. It's not little bits here and
Right.
there. It's in their face constantly. And that's because Chris is on there making sure that it's being captured, it's being posted, it's being talked about.
Right.
But it's more important more now than ever to get on there, be an Eagle ambassador. If you're a corporate sponsor and you want to do it as a corporate from your business standpoint, we ask you to do it at $250 for a year,
Yep.
right? If you're an individual person, we ask $101. It's for the year, and all that does is that goes into everything we need: the insurance, the building space, vehicle insurance to get things around. odd and end things, the trips to DC, the trips to Frankfurt, those are how those are funded. The the events are all funded by community partners that sponsor events.
the sponsored events.
But for all the other advocacy pieces we're doing, for the Hail and Farewells, for the heavy community leaders of Fort Campbell that really make an impact, those are all funded by individual investments from individual people or organizations that say, we understand this money's not for any one thing, but it's just to support the program, to make sure you guys have the resources you need to put the next flyer together to talk about the next resource, to put the next this together, or to make the next meeting in Frankfurt.
Yeah.
That's what those are about.
Shauna, when he first came, I'd get visits from him all the time. Now, I may be lucky to get
still get some visits.
once a year,
I
maybe.
hear that voice
No,
over there
you better
sometimes.
say that. You better.
Hold on now.
I
was like,
recognize
I
the
can
voice
contest.
before his face. I've heard
I
that
can
voice in
contest.
your
We're
wall.
here all the time.
Once a
Yeah.
year, maybe. I see Chris more than I see Shannon now.
Well, that is partly true. So the way we had to divide things too is that for Christian County is a Chris and Shannon effort.
Yeah.
For Todd
Yeah.
County, I told Chris, I said, Todd County's your baby.
Yep.
As a regional approach piece,
Yeah.
Todd County is your baby. You take Todd County, you make sure that the judge, the mayor,
They're all
the
happy.
chamber over there, they all know who you are, and when there's events going on that you're coming back and we're talking about it on how we can be good partners there. Trigg County, that's my baby. I take care of that one. And then
Who
just
takes care of
along with-
Madisonville?
Well, that's both of us again.
Okay, I was
and
going
the
to say.
reason why
that
is
should
when
have
you
been
look at
both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
when you
Yeah.
look at it, like the truth
Yeah.
is, it's just resources required. Madisonville is a significantly larger
Larger,
city than Cadiz is,
Yes,
or
yeah.
Elkton, or Trenton.
Yeah.
So when we're talking about size, like Christian County and Hopkins County have a heavier population and a heavier demand
Yeah.
of their events, and whereas Trigg and Todd County are
Yeah.
very small, tight-knit communities still that have great partners, that have great volunteers, and we can just come in and supplement what they're doing and really help
Yeah.
tailor things and publicize what they're doing.
Yeah.
That's the Ham Festival, for example. Been going for years, decades. That's not going anywhere. It's independent of Fort Campbell, regardless if Fort Campbell comes or not. But they want them to be part of it. They want them to know and share that joy. And it's just getting the information to them, getting the request into Fort Campbell to come out and be part of that event, to get the band out there, to
Or
get vehicles
different
out there.
sta-
So
star
they're
displays or-
Yeah.
so their residents know about Fort Campbell. So maybe the next strong advocate comes out of there. The next person that, because you got to think, every community has their representatives that go to Frankfurt to stand on Capitol Hill to advocate for the best ag practices, the best resources, the best infrastructure. Look at Buc-ee's. We're talking about Buc-ee's right now. How many people have traveled on behalf of getting that infrastructure improved?
Oh, I know.
You know what I mean?
I
It's
know.
not,
A
you
lot.
had to talk about it from
Yep.
different roles that you
Yep.
take. Your mayors had to talk about it. Your city councilmen have had to talk about it. I've had to talk about it. Your judge executive has had to talk about it.
And that's
even-
what it was. It was a big team effort.
Even
it really was.
even Hopkinsville leadership had to
Yeah.
talk about it because
Yeah.
there was water and infrastructure
Yeah.
that
Yep.
had to come down from Hopkinsville
Yeah.
to help fulfill that need at some
Yeah.
point, right? That there was discussions that were not just centered in Oak
And
Grove to
Grove,
support
right.
Oak
It was
Grove.
it was a,
Yeah.
it was
It was
team
a
effort.
regional effort.
Yeah, it really was.
So when you talk about infrastructure improvements like that to bring in bigger businesses, that's the type of improvement we need. And when we talk about this infrastructure improvement on bringing in a runway, that's going to take the entire region too to come together to say, this is how it's going to improve each corner of it.
Yeah, but where on the runway? You know what I'm saying? Where is it going to be placed? Is it going to be
It's
placed on
probably
the
gonna
Kentucky
be-
side or the Tennessee side?
Well, right now that's the thing, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the stronger we can advocate for it, the stronger we can get, the faster we can get people behind it and supportive of it, and to put in the investment to get the feasibility studies done. The faster we can ensure it lands on the Kentucky side, so it's improving the citizens' lives and the
Right.
and the funding lives here in Kentucky.
Right.
If we drag our feet, Clarksville's not afraid of
I was gonna say,
infrastructure
I live in
and,
Clarksville. What if I'm a spy here to get this info?
and improving ahead of time. I mean,
to our military affairs,
You know-
and I'm like, here's the download.
well, here's the
You
deal.
gotta get in there.
And I'm very upfront about this. Tracy will tell you, I'm a very upfront, very honest, very forthcoming person. When I came in, I said, you know what the difference is, the true difference between Clarksville and Christian County is? Clarksville builds ahead of the need. When we talk about housing, when I came on, it was something, don't quote me on the numbers, right? But it was something like, I asked the mayors, like, how many houses are we building a year? And it was like 80. And it's like, okay, well, what's your attrition rate? And they're like, well, we build 80 houses a year. No, you're not understanding. Like, how many do you lose to being condemned, fires, trailers being pulled out, single-family homes, right? Focus single-family homes. I don't care about apartments or duplexes, single-family homes. That's what I care about. And they're like, well, we lose like 76 a year. I said, so you're really only building 4. I was like, to replace, because you're building 4. Like, that's how you have to look at it. Clarksville's building entire
200,
neighborhoods before they even ask for if anybody wants to buy a house. They're building an entire neighborhood and then putting for sale signs up. We're building houses without ever putting a for sale sign up because we're building it for somebody. We need to get ahead of it. If we got to build ahead and build for the future. We're in a deficit across the entire state of Kentucky because everybody's had that build as we need instead of build for what's coming. Right? So I think in Christian County alone, and Tracy, maybe you remember the number, but I don't, but it's somewhere between like 1,500 and 3,500 houses that we're behind. It's a substantial amount of housing we're behind.
That much ahead in Clarksville.
Yeah, and you guys are that much ahead in
Finding a happy medium between the two.
So we're at a deficit. Like that's how many houses we need today that we don't have. And it's going to take us the next 2 years to even get the funding or find the right community partner and start putting those houses up.
Clarksville builds that in a weekend. They go up so fast.
Oh, I know. It's like somebody wakes up, has a cup of coffee, and says, I got energy, and 100 houses are built before lunch.
This 100
and then they're like, oh yeah, you know what would go great with these houses? An In-N-Out burger.
Yeah.
And which is coming.
I ain't mad at that.
All right. I'm not mad at that either.
Yeah,
I think they should put it in Oak Grove, though.
Yeah.
I need to be able to pass it on my way to Fort Campbell every day. My waistline doesn't need that, but I need that for my soul.
For your soul, yep.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So.
This has been great. This has been very informative. It's been a great podcast. You guys are just fabulous. Is there anything else you want to talk about before we sign off?
There's so many things. I mean, we probably need to do this a little more often.
We do need to do this more often. So, yeah. Are you guys doing the the MAC ball or anything like that? Do you have any plans on any of that?
We talked about doing a MAC ball this year, but so many other competing events and so many other things going on. And again, we have to have strong partners that come to the table to form good community. Yeah. Tracy, there's something I didn't talk about that's huge that we just did.
What?
Oh, yeah.
So Trigg County, 3 years ago, right as I got ready to take this role, I was still on terminal leave. It was actually probably about 3.5 years ago. We had a tragic event up in Trigg County. Now, you know I live in Gracie, right on the border of Trigg and Christian County.
Right.
And so that night I got a phone call, woke me up and said, Shannon, we just lost, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, what are you talking about? We had 2 Blackhawks collide, and we lost 9 Screaming Eagles in that tragic event.
Yep, I remember.
Our judge executive and the leadership in Trigg County stepped up, and I mean, everybody, the first responders, everybody did a phenomenal job, and they did a great job. Well, in the aftermath of it, several key members of that community came forward and said, we're going to do something to commemorate this. They talked to a landowner that donated some land in, and they put up a 9 Eagles memorial out there in Trigg County. So for those that have not been out there, a must stop. It's right off of 6880, halfway to the lakes. Once you turn off of 24, when you see the flags up on the hill with the American flag and all the service branches flags, just turn left there. That's where the monument is. Nice. But I will tell you, it doesn't end there. They formed a committee. They formed a Trigg County Memorial Committee, and they said, we're going to do more. You know, we have a lot of pride in our military. We want to do more. And they started putting efforts together to put in a Veterans Memorial Park right there since they already had the land. And they want to commemorate every conflict the United States has been in. And for people to stop and be able to pay respects and tributes to the soldiers. So not only is that 9 Eagle Memorial going to be there, and it's going to be its own standalone memorial, it's going to look different than every other memorial because it is something that has a heavy weight to it for Trigg County.
Wow.
But every conflict is going to be eventually represented there at that Memorial Park, and they've been trying to raise funds. The Military Affairs Committee of Southwest Kentucky was honored to put on a benefit dinner. And in that benefit dinner, one night, one special occasion. We had community partners that just stepped forward, and I'll let Chris name them off because he's way better at that than I am. But I will tell you, all together, we, in one night for one dinner out at Casey Jones, we raised $53,100.
Wow.
All proceeds that went straight
That's
to the
incredible.
Trigg County Veterans Memorial Park. So, to help them realize that. The goal this year, I think, last day we discussed it, was they have one remaining World War II veteran that's still alive in Trigg County. So the goal, I believe, is to get in there and get that one built so he can be at the ribbon cutting for that memorial.
That'd be incredible.
That would be
And
incredible.
I will tell you, there are a long ways to go still. I mean, so far between a Rotary and us and some other organizations, they've raised somewhere in the ballpark of $250,000, but they're probably going to need a lot more by the time they go through it. So please, if you're hearing this and that's something that you want to be part of and part of your legacy and part of the legacy of the Southwest Kentucky community, go on. You can either come to us, we'll take care of it. You can write a check and we'll take it over there to them. Or you can just go to look up Trigg County Veterans Memorial Foundation and make a donation to them.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it's $1, it's something. But I'll tell you that they're doing a phenomenal job there. And it's going to be a Washington, D.C. worthy park. It's not going to be a big, ginormous thing where it's acres and acres and acres. But I will tell you what they're trying to put in there would be worthy of something to see in Washington, D.C.
Yes.
Wow. Nice.
The World War II monument is supposed to be a legit replica of the one that's in D.C., just a little bit smaller.
Nice.
And
So if anybody wants to get a hold of you or Chris, how can they contact you?
Well, I'll tell you, our cell phones are posted everywhere, especially mine. But they can reach out to us on Facebook, or they can reach out to us on our emails. If you just look up at Southwest Kentucky Military Affairs Committee, you'll find us. You'll get our email addresses, but they're real simple. It is S. Lane for Shannon Lane, or C. Collins for Chris Collins, at ChristianCountyChamber.com.
Okay.
Right? So there's several ways to get a hold of us. Just look us up. You'll find our cell phones probably. It'll be a lot easier, but any avenue you want to reach out to us on, please do. Feel free. We're here for the community. We're here. We are not one of those ones that says we're open to dialogue and come in with earplugs in our ears, right?
Right.
Like, we show up and we listen, and we're going to tell you whether or not that your idea is something we can carry forward or not. We're not going to tell you that it's not an idea that you can't try.
Right.
But we'll tell you if we can be part of it or not. Certain things we're going to try to stay away from, right? We're going to try to stay out of elections. We're going to try to stay out of those things.
Amen.
Because here's the truth. No matter who gets in office here in Oak Grove, no matter who gets in office in Hopkinsville or the state capitol, I'm going to step into their office and I'm going to advocate the best I can for the veterans
military.
and the soldiers of our community, because that's what's demanded of me.
That's right.
And that's what I expect of myself. And if I go in and I taint that relationship before it even starts, there's something wrong there.
Yeah.
So we will stay out of realms like that.
Right.
Now, if a candidate's hosting an event and they want us to be part of it, as long as they know we're not there to endorse them, we're there to make sure that that event's successful and they're just happen to be part of it, that's fine. But there's going to be,
that's interesting.
you know what I mean? Like, hey, you want to host a Female Veterans Day resource thing, all you got to do is reach out. We're happy to partner in that. We'll bring resources down from Frankfort and Louisville, and we'll get them down here to really pitch a good event and not just let's have coffee and donuts.
Right.
Like, let's make it worth something for
Right.
them to show up to.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Good job. Good job. So yes, we've got to definitely have to do this more often, because it's a year ago. I think we had you a year. So I was like, oh gosh, we got to get them. Just like I got to get other people too to come back and redo another podcast. But
You know what would be a good one?
who would be a good one?
I think if you got our chair, some of our current or recent past chairs in here
Yeah,
to talk about
yeah.
what's been going on behind the scenes. That way
Yeah.
you're not getting it from the director.
Yeah.
You're getting it from the
Man, I'll tell you,
volunteers
I
that
can.
are really.
I
Just-
sure can.
Because I'll tell you, I started off with the military affairs as a volunteer.
Yeah.
And while Chris and I, yes, we do get paid as a director and assistant director, we don't get paid for 80 hours a week we put in. Right? We're volunteering just as much as,
yeah.
as we're actually
Yes.
getting paid for. So
Yeah.
everybody's
Yes.
getting their money's worth
And
out of
that's
us.
a good idea. I could
you
reach
know?
out to him.
But you
and
get
do
like
some-
Philip Eastman, you get
Yeah.
Holly Hampton,
Yeah.
you
I
get
can
Jen
do that.
Marzalik in
Yeah.
here, Marzlik in here. You get some of those key players, Lori Harper or
Yeah.
Lana Baston.
Yeah.
Those would be
I
some
would
good,
love to
strong
get
ones.
Lori and Lana because they're
Oh, that
they're,
would be a
those,
great
those two are my favorite peoples too.
I'm
and
telling you, the
they
work
are.
that happens behind the scenes is absolutely ridiculous.
Oh, I know.
Like we talked about it earlier about the soldiers driving through Hopkinsville. That was me.
Yeah.
I came in and I learned more about Christian County in the first 2 weeks with this man as an intern than I had the previous 5 years living there myself.
Wow.
I had no clue what just in Hopkinsville and Oak Grove. I mean, I lived in Oak Grove for 2 years, and then I lived in on the north side of Hopkinsville for 5 years.
Wow.
And I learned more just being him driving
Yeah.
around, getting to know the community in 2 weeks than I'd seen the whole time I'd
Yeah.
lived there before.
Wow.
He told me after the first day, he said, I've been on more roads in Hopkinsville and Oak Grove today than I have
Do you have a
my entire
photographic
career
memory?
at Fort Campbell.
It's astronomical, but
Yeah.
I mean, just to see the community coming together.
Yeah.
I had no idea, even as an active duty soldier, just being here on Fort Campbell, had no clue what this community does. And I lived in Clarksville
Yeah.
for about 6 months, and that's about all I can take.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I'm just being honest. That's all I can take, and I moved to the country.
Taxes.
Yeah.
I moved from the Clarksville side to that side for tax
Taxes,
reasons.
yeah.
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 But just getting to know the community and what we do, learning I'm still learning about all the things that this community does, what we do as the MAC.
Yeah.
It is refreshing to know that this community and this region, what they do for Fort Campbell, and just trying to get that word out to show
Right.
the soldiers on Fort Campbell what we actually
Right.
do.
Right.
It's crazy.
Yep. And I tell you what, Facebook and TikTok, all of them, it's a big plus on these soldiers too. I mean, they reach out to us when they see a Facebook post about our events or whatever, So I mean, it does work, and we try and let them know that what we do is free, and they, so.
Absolutely.
But okay, anything else that we wanted to talk about before we sign off on Gossip in the Grove?
No, I just want to say thank
Yes,
you.
You're welcome.
All these years you've been supporting the military affairs while I was in uniform, and I never even knew your name.
Really?
And I wanted to say thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Not only for them, but also for the last 3 years as a friend
You're welcome.
and an advocate on my
Same
behalf.
with you.
So thank you.
You're welcome anytime. My pleasure, my friend.
She's the
I'm
best.
glad I know your name today.
Me too. Me too. Okay, well, we're going to wrap it up. Again, I want to thank Mr. Shannon and Mr. Chris with Military Affairs for being our very special guest. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Gossip in the Grove. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. See you next time.